here today, Cedar Creek, for the Mobtown April tournament. It is, I believe, April 29th. It's about 6:10. I'm just waiting for 6:30 so I can make my first cast up through here. Thinking there should be some bass busting on topwater up through here. So I'll get back with you at 6:30 and see how this thing goes. If you've watched any of my other videos, you know I really like that Shimano World Pop, so that's what we're starting with this morning. Been at it about 15 minutes, and this is my first hookup fish, and it looks to be a big old bowfin. So it'd be nice if he would shake himself off and just excuse himself, but it doesn't happen that way. One of my biggest fears on the planet is getting hooked with a treble hook lure at the same time as a bowfin and having to deal with him thrashing hooks into me, so trying to be very careful putting this boga grip on this guy. A lot of times these guys will break your treble hooks off whenever they start thrashing like that when you get them in a net, so I like to just go straight to boga. I'm going to get a picture of this guy for our trash fish category and let him go back in the water and get back to bass fishing. Rental fall over. Golly. Yeah, there's fish all over. There's something. What is that? Is that a bass? Oh yeah, take it back. That one may go 20. Oh man, that's the kind of fish you need in a tournament right there. You need 5 of those guys, but usually only one of them come per tournament. But it's a good one to have right there. Fortunate to get him. So I've caught those 2 fish that you've seen on camera. I've caught a few smaller pickerel, and I've missed a few pickerel. All of my fish are coming around isolated trees that are in the water and that have water back behind them. And it seems like if there's vine grass nearby, that's a good thing too. So that's what I'm trying to focus on. Isolated trees, trying to get as close as I can to them. That guy missed it the first time, and then I let it sit there and he came back up and smacked it. I was thinking he was a pickerel, but I'm glad I waited a second on him. So these are catch photo release tournaments. It's always a good idea to double and triple check that picture before you put him back in the water, because once you put that fish back in, it's too late if you made a mistake. Alright, 14 and a half. I'm getting ready to change out to what I call the Peter Johnson rig, that weedless tube jig. If you've never seen a Gatlin rod holder, this is a discontinued product that a guy out of Louisiana used to make. He made these, I guess, one at a time and used to sell them, but he, I guess, wasn't selling enough of them, so he kind of got away from it. But if you've never seen it, it's a great product. I kind of wish he would go back to making them. I would pick up another one. Now, what we're going to be doing with this weedless jig with the tube over it, we're going to be trying to skip it as tight as we can into the bushes, trying to make good skips. That's the benefit of skipping a jig, and that tube just makes it skip so easy. So trying to skip back in there, drag it over the bushes, and see if anything's hanging out. I'd love to tell you that was a big old bass, but I've seen him. He was a bowfin that was probably at least 28 inches long. A big old rascal. So watch this next cast though. So I've missed a few fish in this same little hole, and for whatever reason those fish are just ganged up in here. Alright, finally got a scoreable bass. It's been a couple hours for me. I've missed several in that same little hole back there, and I've lost them over trees and seen them flop off over that grass and everything, but finally got my number 3. Just got a 13.75. Skipping this Peter Johnson tube in there. Hooked a bunch of them, got off. Alright, I'm just working my way around the bank here. Same thing, trying to skip. I'm missing a fish every now and then. I'm having trouble for whatever reason hooking up on these guys. I think I might need to take some time and trim out my weed guards on those jigs a little bit. I think the weed guard might be just a little bit too stiff. But I will tell you what, there are a bunch of big old pickerel in here that will swallow your jig, and then when you go to set the hook, it just slices that line off. It is very frustrating. I've lost 4 jigs. I'm going to have to make another order of death grip jig heads. It's adding up. And, Alright, that is number 4. Woohoo! Starting to look like we may actually get a 5-fish limit today. I was starting to wonder. Alright, I'm back out in the creek, up the creek a little ways. You can see that current starting to move. If you watched my video, you know if I'm in wind or current, I like to throw that moving bait, that hybrid hunter. That thing will usually catch them and catch them big, but wind activates that bite more so than current, but you can catch them in current too. So I'm hoping I can get 1 or 2 in current. Hopefully they'll have some size to them. And I am throwing the big old 1-ounce size. I could change over to that Hybrid Hunter Junior, but I've found that little guys will hit it too, and the big fish seem to prefer the larger size. Alright, solid hookup, and this does not look like a pickerel. He might be big enough to measure. Let's see. Whew, oh yeah, got number 5. Got him on the board, getting him back in the water. So I've at least got 5 fish, so that is good. 12, almost 12 3/4. So it's 2 o'clock, not too far from the lake. I'm recording Fishing Chaos. I'm in 2nd place. I don't know if anybody else is holding fish or hasn't submitted fish. I'll have to wait till I get back to the ramp to see how I actually did. A little over 72 inches. Biggest was 19 3/4, so pretty good fish on top water this morning. I guess I'll say in just a second how I did. 72 inches was good for 2nd place. Thank you for watching this video.